Hey guys, it's Astrological here, and I am back with our model making tutorial. I do apologize if I'm a bit quiet. It is quite late at night for me right now. I just suddenly got the motivation to continue with the modeling tutorials, so I'll try and boost up my voice as much as I can when editing. Also, I might not do too much editing because I'm really lazy with editing. I can't bother. It's just hopefully my microphone is also better and not so crisp. Today we are going to be working on modeling shoes. Now you would think I absolutely hate modeling hands and feet more than I do shoes, but that is where you are wrong. I hate making shoes. They are the worst things to make in my opinion. They're not entirely difficult, they're just a lot more tedious and not so uniformly shaped, if that makes sense. Hands and feet, they have the same kind of shapes generally, but with shoes, I can't just yoink them off of another model unless they're exactly the same design to save me time. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to make some shoes. Today we are going to be making some converse style high tops because I feel like this would make more sense with this kind of design of character that I have. If your shoes are completely different, that's fine. My method of making shoes is generally the same no matter the shoe type. It's just I don't like making shoes. As you can see, I've postponed this tutorial for a while. That's how much I hate shoes. What we are going to do, I'm gonna just put everything into the folders for now. I'm gonna hide the mesh. I'm gonna make a new collection and call it shoes. And we're gonna make the shoes completely separate from the rest of the model. Get your references. It's always best to find the best references. If you have drawn them, that's great. But you at least need the sole design and the side view. You can also get the front view and the top view and the back view if you want, but I personally just need the side view and just the kind of sole of a shoe design. From there I can just make a lot of guesswork and the shoes typically turn out fine. So you can find a sole PNG from anywhere. I'm going to pop this one in that I found online. You can easily find them by googling it, and I'm going to flatten it on the X by pressing R, X, then 90. As you can see, it is now flat on the ground, and I'm gonna go into the side view and I'm gonna put in this image of the shoe, Alt-G to center it, and I'm gonna move it so that it's generally on the green line. Now from the front view, just gonna move it to the side and move this down so they're not in my way. With this one, I'm going to put transparency on and do it for 0.2 and this one 0.5, and I'm going to toggle these so then they're not selectable. I'm gonna just rename them so we know which one's which. Now I'm going to start from the top view, which is by 7 on the numpad. We're going to add a plane. I'm going to toggle the X-ray mode, the wireframe X-ray. I'm going to toggle off the proportional editing because we don't need that right now. I'm going to make my selection tool the tweak by pressing T to get this sidebar up and holding down onto this box up here and then choosing my preferred selection. I always go for tweak, but it doesn't really matter. Do whatever you prefer. I have named them the wrong thing, so I'm going to do sole, side, and then sole again. There you go. So this one, I actually need to change the opacity, change it to 0.5 so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. Now in edit mode, I'm just going to outline the sole. I'm going to keep it relatively low, not too low, but kind of low. Don't just dive in and add a load of loop cuts straight away. You don't need it. I'm just going to extrude the edges and fit them to the outline of the sole. One more. Okay, and then I'm going to add just 3 loop cuts in the middle, and we're going to round this off. Okay, so now we have the sole. We're going to put a subdivision modifier on it. And I'm going to turn on cage so then I can see what I'm doing. I don't really like to keep the on cage off. It's just a bit weird for me to edit things. So side view now. I'm going to shrink it down to about the size of my reference. And what I'm going to do is, just in case I mess up, I'm going to duplicate by Shift D and just gonna name this back up sole. Then I'm gonna turn it invisible. Just in case I mess this up. It's always good to keep backups of your parts, should you need it. So in edit mode, I'm going to grab this part where the toe is. Edit mode, press O for the proportional editing. G, I'm going to scale up my selection so you can see the circle growing. I'm going to press Z and it locks on the Z. I'm going to move up. I'm going to rotate. Let's see. Rotate on the X. Like so. I'm gonna just try and match the way that the sole is on the shoe in my reference. Like so. This can also work with heels. With heels, you would want to move this whole selection here and move it up. So then you have that kind of heel effect. It depends on your shoe type, which is why we get the side view. So then we can easily edit it from the side and we can have the sole how the shoe is. I'm going to just rotate on the X just a smidge to the back here. Okay. Again, you can make a backup if you want, but I'm not going to. I'm going to turn proportional editing off. I'm going to select everything with A. I'm going to extrude. And I'm just going to move it up because it locks it onto, I think, the local axis. And I'm going to move it up to where the end of the sole is. I'm going to add 2 loop cuts here. I'm going to edge slide this in so it's a bit more rounded off. And do the same here. I'm going to select these at the back and just move them backwards just a bit. Now what you can do is you can make them look sharper by adding an edge loop and moving it down as soon as you add it to look sharper if you want it to. Or you can leave it looking a bit more rounded. I personally like how the rounded looks. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm going to smooth, which, by the way, as you can see, I'm using Q to smooth. You can smooth your vertices by pressing W and smooth vertices. You can assign it by right-clicking and it should say assign shortcut for you. And you can assign it either Q or any other key that seems more accessible to you. In object mode, I'm going to do shade smooth by pressing W. Okay, I'm gonna go back into the wireframe mode. And I'm going to just disable the see-through, the X-ray mode, just for now. And I'm going to select the top edges right here. I'm going to duplicate them. I'm going to separate them. Because this is going to be the start of the main shoe. So, from the side view, I'm going to enable this again. I'm going to rename this to being sole, and I'm actually going to just hide it for now. Now I'm going to extrude and just pull it up and scale it. And then this part here, I'm gonna move it down and we're going to make it follow the form of our shoe. Just do this. Now because we have the subdivision modifier on, it might look a bit weird. That's fine. We can fix it. There we go. And now, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want the general shape of this kind of shoe rather than making it a perfect replica. Since I have a model style that is kind of simple, I like to keep my things simple. Just move it up here a bit above where the actual shoe toe tip ends. I'm just gonna smooth it and just raise it up again. Move these down. Okay, on the toe tip, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna select these vertices here. I'm gonna press F to create a face. And these ones here, F. And create F. And F. And then I'll add a loop cut in the center. And then these two vertices I'm going to join. And then I'm going to just select these vertices, not gonna select this one here. Just going to try and make it look a bit more rounder. Yeah, also select these ones. So. Okay. See, this is why I don't really like making shoes. It's very tedious, it's very complicated. But I want to get this model done so I can finish this tutorial series for you guys and you guys to have finished models. Just gonna move in. This is where you might need the other references, the other views of the shoe, but I'm just gonna kind of wing it. Actually, move these forward a bit. I'm going to separate these vertices by pressing V. I'm gonna separate these. I'm gonna extrude again, move down and rescale. I'm going to hide this bit for now. And then I'm just going to cap this off. And I'm gonna add another loop cut here and just flatten it. And I'm gonna take these. You can also use the sculpting if you think that would be easier to get the shapes how you want them to be. I don't use the sculpting too much, but they can be very helpful. Okay, H. I'm just going to do the same thing here. gonna do is I'm gonna select these faces. Okay, hide that quickly. Select these faces. And I'm just gonna flatten them. And then again, I'm gonna try and get the shape back. Like that. Okay, I'm gonna add a loop cut here and just dropping that off. You know, these edges, I'm gonna just squeeze them in a bit. Add 2 loop cuts and scale them on the X. Okay. I'm gonna select these edges. I'm gonna duplicate them, separate them quickly. And this is gonna be the tongue. I'm just gonna do that. And separate this bit, and I'm going to add a solidify. And I'm just going to squeeze it in and move it closer. I'm going to extrude and just move it. With this down and just rotate it. I'm going to scale on the normals by pressing Alt S. Just to make it thicker. Without having to put a solidify on it. Okay. It might look weird from the front view, but that's fine. Shoes always look weird. I feel like this one needs to be thicker, so I'm going to Alt S and thicken it. Just keep adjusting. Keep smoothing where you feel like you need it. You can see that the solidifier is kind of being derpy, so I'm just going to smooth that out. And get a better shape. Yeah. I hate you so much. Maybe it would be better if these were sharper. I'm gonna add a loop here. It's a bit more rounded. Okay. Now there are plenty of ways you can do laces. You can use curves, which might be the easiest way. You can texture them on if you're lazy like me, but I'll model them for this shoe. So what I typically like to do is I like to get a selection from the sole, or from the tongue. Duplicate it, separate it. I'm just going to get rid of the back. Going to edge slides the minute close. Add a loop. And then we're just going to edit the laces so that they are like this. You can either do them straight down like this and just keep going down, or you can crisscross them. It's completely up to you. I'm gonna do just one across here. Move it down, move it forward, down, forward. I'm gonna do it crisscross. So I'm gonna make sure that it's connection only for the proportional editing, so I don't affect other ones around that haven't been selected. I'm going to scale on the X by -1 so I can flip it. And then I don't have to do too much editing after that. And then I can just get the ones that are crossing over, duplicate them, and move them into position. And scale them. You can even do your best to copy the actual shoelace pattern of the shoe design that you're going for, but for me, I don't really care. I don't care if it doesn't look like how the Converse high top laces are, as long as you get the idea that they are shoelaces. That's fine with me. I'm gonna do it one more time. Okay, and I'm gonna add a solidify. I'm gonna make it so that it goes down like that. I'm going to do Alt-N and recalculate outside so that they're all their normals are facing the same way. And I'm gonna make it go down into the mesh. Like so. Okay. You just made a shoe. Good job. Now all you have to do is mirror it to the other foot. Now there are plenty of ways you can do this. I'm gonna continue to edit because I'm not too much of a perfectionist, but I can be. I can move these out. Then just edge slide. Okay, you can apply all the modifiers right now if you want to, and then mirror it to the other foot. I'm gonna delete that back up because we don't need it anymore. And as you can see, the shoe is massive. So I am going to select all parts of the shoe. I'm going to change the pivot point to 3D cursor, and then I'm going to scale it down until I feel like it is the right size. I know I keep editing it, but like, I hate shoes. Okay, right. Not gonna touch it anymore. I'm going to select everything, go into edit mode, and I'm going to align it with our foot. Now obviously our foot is going to be clipping through, that is fine. As long as you get like the general shape, it's okay. You can even move it down just a smidge if you want. Stop selecting the things I don't want selected. And then you just add the mirror modifier if you don't want to apply everything. Like, I don't want to apply everything just yet. I like to do that last. Like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the foot. I'm going to duplicate it and separate it. And I'm going to keep the foot as a backup because I want to keep the base model as is. Now that we have made a backup, I'm going to make it so that the feet fit inside the shoe. So then there is minimal clipping from the foot. I believe if I just do that, it should be fine. So subdivision mirror, yeah. So I'm gonna join these. And then I'm going to edit with connected only off because I want it to hug the foot a bit more. Select all the laces, just and connection only on again, and just move them forward a smidge. And I'll thicken them up a bit by scaling on their normals. Here we go. Oh, we got some foot clipping through. There we go. It still look weird from the front, so I'm probably gonna have to apply everything. I'll just apply the solidify on everything that has it, and then combine the whole shoe. I'm gonna select these again, turn proportional off, thicken them, so then the tongue needs to be wider. You know, from the front it looks weird. So with proportional editing on, I'm just gonna rotate them a bit. Rotate them on the Z, so then they're not so pointy inwards. I want minimal gaps. Okay, the shoes are now done and the model is completely modeled. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it helped. You can use this method for typically any shoe. Just as long as you have the sole shape, you're good to go. And if you had the side view as well. Next, we will be unwrapping everything. I'll be doing that in multiple parts as well. The only thing that we will not be unwrapping will be the hair, because the way that we did it with curves, it auto unwraps as a square. The way that I typically texture hair is by having a loop-in texture, which is a square texture that loops around the hair. It's perfect with the cylinder method. It's perfect with the curves method. But you can also unwrap the hair if you want to. It's very easy to do. I always do it at the back of the hair strand, so then you don't really see. So then you don't really see the seam if any texture issues arise. But yeah, we'll be starting off with unwrapping the base model, so look forward to that. Unwrapping isn't as scary as it seems. If you follow the method that I unwrap, you'll be fine with unwrapping basically anything. I appreciate everyone's patience with me. I know I've been really slow with this tutorial series, but modeling is a lot. Mental health is a lot to do with, and just I'm also working on commissions and they take priority. But I had some time and I just felt like recording right now. So yeah, we made shoes and then we'll be unwrapping, ready for textures. We will also be rigging in the future. The way that I rig is I take a pre-made skeleton that comes with an add-on that I have and thin that to the mesh. Blender should come with its own pre-made skeleton that you can edit. But in the rigging tutorial I will also be linking the add-on that I use, which is a VRM add-on. It allows me to add a VRM skeletal hierarchy. It allows me to add a VRM skeleton, which is what I typically use because I typically make VTuber models that need a VRM kind of skeleton. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get there. Thank you all for watching, I hope that helped, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye guys!